Okay, so I got some Secret Weapon beveled hollow bases. These are 40mm hollow bases. And I like the hollow ones because they have that lip, and they're actually reversed, basically. They're flat on the bottom, and they are hollow on top, instead of like normal bases that are flat on top and hollow on the bottom. And I'm making my new jungle bases with them so that I can pour resin in it. And I used Drytex Speckle paste. I just filled it, leveled it off, and then started carving channels where I wanted the water to be. And I'm going to go put this out in the sun and let it dry, and when it hardens, I'm going to prime it, and then I'm going to start basing it with dirt, grass, and then the final step will be adding the resin. And this one in particular, I'm going to have the model actually standing in the water, so I'll add the resin after the model's built and put on. Alright, so they were all dry, and I went ahead and primed them. And then I coated them with my texture paint. It gives them a nice rough surface, helps the basing materials adhere very nicely, and gives it a very nice look too. And then I went ahead and clear coated it with a matte clear coat after that to seal up the edges very nicely so that the resin would go in and not leak anywhere else in the base. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to flock it with dirt and some grass highlights, and I'm going to put some Strickland mud in the center where the water's going to be. Let's get started. Alright, so I got these dirt flocked and they're dry now. Now it's time to hit it with a coat of Agrax Earthshade, and they'll be coming out looking like this color when they're done. Alright, so I finished with the Agrax Earthshade, and once that dried I went over it with some green flock to look like vegetation. And next I'll be going over with some green grass plants. And the end result will look very similar to this. Alright, so I got the grass on there now. For the most part, the bases are finished. I just have to add the water effects and the models. Some of the models will actually be in the water effects, so I'm not going to actually do that until the very end. I want to make sure the models are ready to be placed, and I might be having bits in there with them too. And what I'll be using is Secret Weapon Realistic Water. This stuff is an evaporation-based hardening process though, so it shrinks a lot when it dries. So I'll mostly only be using that for the little mini creek, little branches off here in the smaller areas. They don't need a lot of thick water effects. But for the deep parts, this stuff is really great. Quick water. It dries like a hard, clear plastic, and it looks like water. And since it's a two-part mixture, it's a chemical hardening process. It doesn't really shrink, which is really good. And that's what we want here for the deep recesses in these bases. Alright, so these are my jungle bases I'll be using for my new Sisters of Battle units and my Skitarii. I wanted them to match my Imperial Guard, which they're going to ally with frequently, which are mostly catechins, and that's why I went with jungle bases. I'll be doing another video later showing me adding the models and the resin. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.